Hello, my name is Jason Boucher and I'm a FE lecturer at Derby College teaching engineering. I'd like to bring to your attention with this presentation what I consider to be some issues surrounding the future of FE. So the title of our little chat for this next 5 minutes or so is essentially, where is FE headed and what is the future? Well, two particular questions, and I might be preaching to a converted audience, but effectively there can be all sorts of futures. Things I've thought about, particularly with teaching and education. Okay, I put a quote at the top there: "Supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge," from Albert Einstein. I believe passionately that teaching should be about our students, it should be about creating that passion for lifelong learning rather than just, oh, I've done it now, what do I do next? Giving them the joy to continue with their education and succeed in life. Some issues that I see: the rise of profit. Education shouldn't be about profit. I've recently completed an honours degree at University of Huddersfield, and that led me to see the downside of managerialism in education and demise of education. It should never be about profit. Unfortunately, our government has made it such that it seems that the more students we get through the door, the more money the college earns, and therefore it can pay its staff. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about making sure our students succeed. Issues for current teachers particularly, I see workload. It's far too much to do. My own workload, I've got 180 students, that in addition to just teaching them all the stuff they need to learn, I have to do all their admin, pastoral, disciplinary, and extra pieces on top for open evenings and things like that. I commute 130 miles a day on 4 trains. Very difficult thing to do, and taking my work home in this environment now with learning as it is has been really difficult to try and keep up with that and generate the content. We transferred it over in a couple of days flat. Stress, admin burden. Talked about admin burden already. Worrying about it creates the stress, workload just becomes a nightmare. Lack of productive training time and or creative space. Certainly my experience of FE is such that productive training time, well, what does that mean? Actually it means what are the people who are delivering the training actually needing? Do they need to be lectured about teaching, learning and assessment all the time, or do they actually need something they can use in the classroom to make their life and the students' lives better for them? And the creative space, well, sometimes, but again, my experience is that knowledge doesn't come from just the tutor. You know, that needs content, it needs creating, it needs sticking together in some way. Possible solution: change the paradigm. Great word. Most people just change the model. Think about what it is we actually have to do for educational purposes. Change our students' lives, make them successful. One of those possibilities is ADDIE, the instructional design process, as you'll see I put there on the slide. But really it's about this process: analysis, design, development, implementation and evaluation. At the heart of it is a structured model based around instructional design, which some people might say is a teaching process. The way I see it is each of these are discrete elements that can be populated with experts at particular things. So it shouldn't always be just about one teacher doing all of it. It should be about being able to divide the workload between people and redesign the structure of the departments to make them work or functionally in a much better way. How does that work? Well, actually, if we think about that model in a bigger version like this, and then we see what we can do. So analysis with the teams for subject matter specialist groups. So you can ask an art teacher, what is it they want? What is it they need to do? Which qualifications are they going to teach? Design, engagement with the teachers as a subject matter expert. So this becomes somebody who's good with the creative space to design the content they're going to use. Talk about this in terms of an LMS, a learning management system, but for the staff. I'm not talking about Moodle or VLE. I'm talking about just somewhere where a teacher, whatever they teach, can log into a system and they can deliver content that's there being designed for them, so they just follow the models. It then becomes about their passion in the classroom to be able to work with individual students, knowing that the content is already sorted. Development. So if we want to get Gucci and up to date with all this new toys that we can use these days in teaching, engagement with specialists for AR and VR. AR being augmented reality, VR, virtual reality. You know, what's to say we couldn't hold a classroom in a virtual reality environment? I'd love to take my students into a hangar space with a jet engine and have them take the thing to part in virtual reality. Fantastic experience. Doesn't necessarily cost a lot these days, but actually it's about making that happen. How do we go about making that happen? For me, that's about, again, having another team with specialists where we can develop what it is that we want to teach these people, so we can work with it and we can work forward from it. Implementation. This is where the teacher comes in. Free up the teachers to deliver, assess and engage with the students. Be able to do the things that they need to get done, be able to change that individual learning process, be able to engage with them on an individual basis, instead of having to worry, have I done the register, have I done this, can I mark this up on Pro Monitor, how much work am I going to generate if I give them another set of assignments. There's a whole myriad of things that get in the way. Evaluation becomes a quality driven process. This means the quality process and the quality department gets bigger, yes, but ultimately it means that we can check in all the way through this process in terms of quality to make sure it's getting done. And when it comes to exams and things like that, an LMS would provide self-generating exams if we put in the contents and tagged it properly. So there's an effort and a method there that will work for everybody. It's just about the division of labour, thinking about it in a different way, instead of constrained through lenses that have become politicised with managerialism, political approaches to education. We need to think about how we going to make our students' life a success. So a book I've read recently, Future of Work, is already here. Linda Grattan, The Shift, it's already here. You know, digital revolution. There's a guy called Professor Shafi Ahmed who's already doing operations in his London hospital using Snapchat. He works with virtual avatars, experts in their fields from as far away as the USA, to actually deliver operations. He has the experts stood next to him. Virtual reality, augmented reality, it's coming much bigger, and it seems the edge is worn off a little at the moment. Lots of people jumped on it as a trend, but it doesn't seem to have got anywhere. It lacks the legs. It needs some more drive, some more gumption. Current teachers learning the tech. Well, how do I know about this? I'm not really a technophobe, but I don't know enough about making it work. Keeping up with the pace of change. It seems like every other year there's another version of something new that I need to pick up or learn or derive a process for the students for, that even I have to learn. How do I keep up? Keeping up means developing knowledge to enable creativity and innovation. So in other words, giving me the time to be able to understand what it is you want me to learn so that I can make it better for my students. I can't just do that off the top of my head, off the bat, so to speak. It needs to be able to come alive, and to do that I need to understand it more. So I need a productive training time and time with the creative space to make that happen. So in summary, with all of these issues, change the model, change the paradigm, but think about what's coming for the future. So in conclusion, education should be about the betterment of humanity, not about profit. It should be about making our person, our student, wherever they come from, however many difficulties they have, being able to step into education and go from wherever they come from to a Russell Group University education. There's no impediment to that if we and the education system is doing its job correctly. Give the teachers time to engage with new tech to generate the envisioned benefits. It's all right a salesman saying, oh, it'll do this for you, it'll do that for you, but you can't make it happen unless you understand it as the teacher to see how you can make it better for your students. Change the model, take a risk, change the paradigm, don't blindly accept the status quo. It's not something that should actually worry people, because all the time as teachers we're asked to take risks in the classroom, we're asked to stretch things, to challenge, to make our students think a bit more differently about their routes to employment, think about what they want to do in the future. So actually changing the paradigm, taking a risk, we're already doing that. We need to do more. Teaching has to be a passion, a vocation. Don't let it become a prison. It shouldn't be about people feeling worn out, burnt out, stressed, workload, nightmare. It shouldn't be about worrying about what you've got to do for the next day when you get home after a 65-mile journey and 2 hours on a train, wondering where you're going to find the time to sit down and prepare for tomorrow. It should be about being able to think about how you're going to make tomorrow's lesson better, because it's already there and it's already done. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. I'm going to leave you with one last thought, which is very much a part of me and where I sit. Very much something that I picked up from an assignment I did for my degree. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. My name is Jason Boucher.